All right, September 24th from Justin to Cully. Justin, next week is actually a big week for you. I don't know if you walked in today knowing that next week's going to be huge for you, a redemption week, because Kirk put a call to action out there. Obviously, if you're watching this show, that means you listened to KMS today, which means you heard the Greg Hill audio, the phone call from a Minifan named Mike, which made Greg Hill look absolutely silly. But what came out of that is probably the thing we want to touch on the most, which is that Minifans, next week is a big week for you because we are going to jam the living shit out of WEEI's phone lines. It's a big week for them. Tom Brady playing the Patriots for the first time since he left. It certainly would be typically a call heavy week for them. Next week, it's going to be a Minifan heavy call week for WEEI, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, I did know going in today because, as you remember, Kirk texted both me and you
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. There's the background information we try to bring to this show. So that was smart.
yesterday. He said, "Hey, like next week, just hammer WEI. That's all I want you
Yep.
to care about." So
Yep.
that's kind of where all my focus is going right now. I think I'm going to set up. I was debating, should I do this from my house? Should I do this from the studio? I think I got to set up some sort of HQ
Yep.
in Watertown. Just to, I mean, it's going to suck having to get up early, super early, heading over there to be there at
Got to
6.
do it. Got to do it.
But
Got to do
but
it.
no, I mean, this is war week. This is
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm ready for war.
Yeah.
So
So
if,
what? So, yeah. So next week, obviously, the shows that are targeted. If you listen to today's show, the Greg Hill show in the morning, 6 to 10, and then 10 to 2, which is Gresh and
just from
Keith.
6 to 2, yeah, from six to
Yeah,
two,
six to
just
two.
keep it going.
Yeah, and give you the quick little background because it is the wrap up show. Lou Merloni goes on this strange rant, but at the end of the day, Lou is a friend of Kirk Minahan's, and
Mhm.
Lou and Christian, also a friend, are going to go unscathed in this situation. It is just from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. is where the phone lines just need to be jammed. Those two shows specifically, not that Lou and Christian don't take calls, but the early two shows seem to be the most dependent on phone calls, it seems.
Probably.
Yeah.
When you look at it and you think like, okay, so Greg Hill is going to want like knee jerk reaction from the Patriots Saints game on Monday. So I think just call, and I'm going to put together like a, not kind of like talking points, like
Yep.
questions you can ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I want to go heavy on like WNBA talk, on New England Revolution talk. Like I pretty much want other like people who are just listening to be
Yeah.
like, why the fuck are they talking about?
Well, I
They're
mean,
going to
if you
take
ask
another
me
phone
too,
call.
like, I mean, sports radio loves to talk golf, don't they? Like, I feel like there's
Yep.
got to be some reaction to the Ryder Cup. I mean, after it's probably, hopefully, it's going to be Team USA winning. I would assume the morning show wants to hear some Ryder Cup talk. I don't know, maybe paired with
Just
some Revolution talk, that could be compelling.
anything but Tom Brady
Yeah, yeah,
is what we should be. We're
yeah,
talking like, mention Kirk, mention Bob Murchison. Like I know, it's kind of mentioned on the thing like, oh, the point system. I'm still trying to figure out
yep,
a revamped version of that. But I do think that there should be some kind of us versus them mentality, where how many
yep,
phone calls can they get through versus how many phone calls can we get through, because at the end of the day, we know it's not going to be 100% because they will have planted calls at some point.
oh,
They
sure,
did it when we
yep,
did. I don't know if you weren't here for this, but we did it on Dale's last day where we just hammered the phone lines, and they ended up like taking what's Dale's old Holly ended up calling in,
yep.
and this other Twitter guy who has like a direct line to Dale called in.
Well,
So
I mean, they have their, whether this happened in that situation or not, they have their hotlines, right? So I think they
yep.
have two hotlines on the system for guests. So
Mhm.
to your point, like if they're going to plant calls, kind of a la War of Roses or a second date update or whatever, they have two lines to basically work with to kind of do some of that shit.
Yes.
So
And
yeah, I
also,
mean, yeah,
if they're planting calls, like we're winning. Like
yeah,
take
correct,
that as like a good thing.
correct, correct.
So I definitely think next week's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a long week. It's gonna be a long week, but
Well, we have
war
too, and just
war
so
never
everybody knows,
changes.
like
So
we're kind of thinking through ideas on our end too. I know Kirk is even thinking of ideas after the show we talked to. So if you're a fan, kind of thinking what to do, or possibly we want to be a part of this, never feel bad about DMing us or reaching out in any
mhm.
capacity because we're going to be coming up with ideas all week. I would assume we're definitely going to be streaming live on the Kirk Minahan Network on Monday morning for sure with whatever we end up building. That all just kind of transpired. But I wouldn't be surprised if this lasts potentially all week, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it's gonna I think we're really gonna, like, find I think Monday, it's gonna take us a little bit to find our footing and kind of, like,
Yep.
let people know what we're doing, how they can participate, and I guarantee you by Wednesday, it's like a well-oiled machine. So,
Yes, absolutely,
let's,
absolutely. So
let's
feel free to feel free to reach out. Of course, we got to get by the way Tim and Canton. This is like also one of his callings as well, so we should probably reach out to him as well. But as far as other things that kind of happened on the show today, interesting. It was hidden the entire time until basically we gave a little teaser early. We tweeted out a picture of two chairs instead of one. I don't think people were expecting Chris and Mike together for today's show because no Jared Carabas. I actually liked the dynamic of basically like Kirk with two sidekicks. I thought it was a different feel and I liked it. I don't know. It was good energy today.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like, I don't wanna say, like, Mike alphaed Kirk, but Mike was in the 2nd chair, Chris was in the 3rd chair, and I
Yep.
don't think there's been 2 in studio guests since, I wanna say Tim and Canton
Yeah, that
and
sounds
Steve
right.
from Providence,
Yep.
like, months and months ago now. So, I think I definitely, yeah, no, I like the idea of having 2 guests. It was different. I think
Yeah.
it was different than a Mike show, it's different than a Chris show. They were playing back and forth, Chris's game, which I saw that some people are saying, like, when you introduced Chris's game, that he did he overreact, or were you just being a dick to him?
I was just being sarcastic, and because I mean, we all know that the reviews of the games have been mixed, so I think I just called
Mhm.
it whatever his shitty game was or something like that, just
Yeah,
being
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
sarcastic asshole that uh, I tend to be at times. So I was just kidding around, but he was like, "Did Dave just come?" But he always that's kind of his thing too. Like
Yeah,
he kind of has a little. That's kind of how I am. I get really defensive really quick, and then I back down on shit. He kind of has that defensive spirit too, like right away. But
yeah.
either
Fun
way, it
fact.
picked back up. Yeah.
Fun fact. Chris was also one of the first people. I believe he might be the second person after Joe Jarchezel to be kicked off Mike and the Minifans.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. So yeah, that was. I actually thought that it changed the dynamic, like the sound of the show a little bit. I don't know. It was a little giggly at times and stuff like that. But I thought it was a good show today. I thought it was fun. So that was interesting, kind of how that all played out with Jared. I assume Jared's probably doing some kind of Red Sox Yankees
I,
stream.
I I think he's doing some live stream tonight. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a big Red Sox Yankee game that people are saying it's like a wild card preview. So
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
sure Barstool's doing something.
Yep. So the other thing that kind of was just funny, and then we'll kind of tie it up there is the Milton's trip. I don't know about
Yeah, it
you,
was
but
funny.
going into that, and we'll talk about the picture, which was just absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Going into that, I assumed that we would have one or two moments, kind of like last time, where Mike offended the waitress, or Harrison with his root beer, like little fun fact or
Mhm.
whatever. I figured we'd have one of those moments. I don't think we got one. I think it was all professionalism all the way through.
I think for the most part, I think the funniest parts would be if I had to do like a top 5,
Yeah.
it would be you like running in there being like, okay, I'll go grab our table, like 10 minutes in.
Oh, you mean at
Um,
Milton's?
yes.
Well, I walked into Milton. I walked into the restaurant, made a reservation. There was only one time available, which
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately put us all on a time crunch. Yeah, but remember last time we waited like 90
Oh
minutes
yeah,
to
no, it
get
was
in.
terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible, and we were like sweating our dicks off.
Yeah.
Harrison just having going for the free for all, just
Oh, you
getting
know
two
what? You
bags
know
of
what didn't
himself.
come up on the show was remember Kirk looked over at Harrison and was like, "Why do you have long hair?" And then it just like was
Oh,
this
that's right. Yes, yes.
random
Harrison
conversation.
will not cut his hair. Harrison will
He
not cut his
won't
hair.
cut it.
That's
He's like, and then he said he has it because he used to, or I don't know if he has it because of this, but he was like, "Oh,
no.
I
He
used to
said
be
it.
in
He
a
said
band."
because I can play guitar.
Yeah, because I can play guitar. What type of music? It turned into this. What type of music does the band play? Like all this stuff. So that was actually kind of funny.
His
And I
nameless band that plays Metallica and Van Halen.
Yep. Yep. I would say this,
So
if they're and I know Tommy John was a sponsor in the past, hopefully they come back. If they do, I know Kirk probably does the best ad reads in the business, but I'm telling you, I think he has to seriously consider letting you do those ad reads because you were the pushiest son of a bitch to buy Tommy Johns I've
they are
ever seen in
so
my life.
fucking. Look, I mean, these shorts
Yeah, do what you
are
gotta do.
so
Yeah.
comfortable. Like this isn't the underwear. These are the shorts that I got,
Oh,
and
okay.
they're
Yeah, yeah.
so fucking comfortable. I mean, and then like the underwear is like I
No,
mean
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Let's
like
okay. I know where you're going. Yeah,
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 it's just
yeah.
no, it legitimately like I think I went around to everyone. I think I went around to everyone except Kirk. I'm not going to tell Kirk what to
And it wasn't just,
wear.
by the way, it wasn't just like when we were all congregated by
No, it was
like
one
the
by one.
bill to check out or whatever. Like you literally you would go, you were walking around doing your shopping, and if you would
Yeah.
talk to somebody, it was like, oh, by the way, have you checked out the Tommy John? You got to get
Yeah,
some.
yeah,
It was it was
it was like a salesman's
it was
tactic. You're like,
unbelievable. It was unbelievable. So that was funny. And then so clearly we got to take a picture at Milton's, and Harrison is in charge of the picture. He couldn't have been further away from us, which I understood the intention, which was to get the
you get the Milton sign.
Milton sign up there. But holy shit, was that a train wreck of a photo that came out of it? But the best thing was like the reaction to it was just
Oh, it was great.
phenomenal. I was laughing literally, at least to the moment I posted, I was probably laughing with my wife for a good 90 minutes from all the different things that were coming up
Yeah, it
because
was
of that
funny
photo.
seeing the different memes and everything
Yeah,
like that. The Abbey
yeah.
Road and, and everything like that.
It was
Just
just.
Kirk, I think encompassed it the best. He's like, the four of us are really good friends, and
Yeah.
that's probably what I'd say in
Can
regards
you
to that.
hear my child going ape shit upstairs?
A little bit, but it's
Yeah,
okay.
whatever. It is what it is.
Um,
Yeah. So yeah, he encompassed it. It was just funny. I think that that picture definitely is something we may want to consider putting on a T-shirt. You know, like
yeah,
just a
yeah.
picture alone. Put it on the T-shirt. I don't
I'm
even. Yeah,
surprised
I would.
Hasn't run with that picture yet.
Oh my
To run a
god,
bunch
yeah,
of
put it
ad
put it on a
campaigns and things.
billboard. Put it on a billboard or something like that. So yeah,
But
I mean, other things came up on the show, but we'll just reiterate as we wind down here. Next week,
Dakaro sucks. She lies.
big week. Oh yeah, we did the Carl thing, but at the end of the day, the biggest takeaway from today, because we're going long here, biggest takeaway has got to be Minifans, the call to action next week. Let's bombard those phone lines. Justin is going hard already. We've already been trading texts on ideas. We'll be live streaming. We'll be making calls ourselves. We'll probably take calls as well from Minifans as this is all going down. So if you're making calls to WEEI, we may be live, and you might have the ability to talk to us about what you're dealing with on your end, or what your call was like, or whatever. So it'll be a super fun, interactive, and disruptive Monday for sure. But I'm hoping it goes all week, to be honest.
I think it's only gonna build up more and more. I think
Yeah,
Monday is going to be we're gonna get off to a hot start, but I think once people understand what their role can be, understand, just make a couple calls here and there, that I think Friday is gonna be hell for them when they're trying to take
absolutely.
a phone call when they're at the point where they're normally like, oh, call them with your prediction of the game. People normally go like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think the
Yep.
Patriots
Yep.
are gonna win 10-3.
This is like
Uh,
it kind of has an interesting feel because it's like this is clearly a fun thing that Minifans like to do anyway. It's almost like this is our like Radio Row week leading up to the Super Bowl because we have this
yep.
barrage that we're going to put on WEI next week, and it's going to culminate with a Saturday night in Saco live. So it's going to make for a fun week. So if you're a Minifan out there and you want to participate, have ideas, whatever, reach out to me, reach out to Justin.
Yeah, just DM
We'll,
me and
yeah,
I'll get you set up with, and especially if you don't know how, if you're like, oh, I don't know how, or I don't want to
yep,
go to jail,
yep.
it's really like they're gonna it's really simple. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, cool. So we'll wrap it up there. As for this wrap up show, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about after the show on Monday. So we will be back. KMS back on Monday. News for next week, just so you have it. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday recording. So a little bit of change. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Off Friday, leading into Saco on Saturday. So that's the schedule change. So until the madness on Monday, we'll talk to you then.